Hello and welcome to Drama Recaps. Today, we delve into the dramatic narrative of the 2011 movie, The Help. Spoilers ahead. Our story unfolds in Mississippi, 1963, with Aibileen Clark narrating her life story to a writer. Coming from a lineage of maids, her mother and grandmother included, Aibileen's fate was preordained. She has cared for 17 white children, all the while her own child was under someone else's care. Currently, she serves the Leafold household, primarily caring for the neglected daughter, Maid, as Elizabeth, the socialite mother, provides little attention. Enter Skeeter Phelan, fresh from college and aspiring to establish her career in New York's prominent publishing scene. Lacking the requisite experience, she settles for a job at a local newspaper answering domestic cleaning inquiries for a weekly pay of $8. Meanwhile, we're introduced to Aibileen's best friend, Minnie Jackson, another maid who's employed by the Holbrooks. The matron, Hilly, is a socialite leader, heading the local junior league and recently relocated her sickly mother, Mrs. Walters, into her home. As they convene for Hilly's bridge club meeting, Minnie shares an incident where Hilly has been marking toilet paper to deter her from using their bathroom. Hence, Minnie has resorted to bringing her own. The gathering takes an awkward turn when Skeeter announces her new job, which is deemed unusual as she's still unmarried. The tension escalates when Skeeter requests Elizabeth's permission to consult with Aibileen for the cleaning column, revealing that her own maid has quit. Just then, a phone call interrupts them. Celia Foote, a social outcast from marrying Hilly's ex, Johnny, is seeking a maid. The women engage in some mockery at Celia's expense before returning to the controversial topic of bathrooms. Hilly advocates for separate facilities for maids, citing her unfounded belief that African Americans carry unique diseases. She even drafts the Home Health Sanitation Initiative advocating for separate bathrooms for the colored help. As the meeting concludes, Skeeter gains Aibileen's consent to assist with the cleaning column. She expresses her regret for Aibileen overhearing the insensitive bathroom discussion and inquires about her former maid Constantine, who was a friend of Aibileen's. Aibileen is taken aback by Skeeter's claim that Constantine quit. Before any clarification can occur, Elizabeth intervenes, handing Skeeter Hilly's initiative for the League newsletter. Following this, Skeeter attempts a conversation with her mother, Charlotte. Charlotte, however, remains tight-lipped about Constantine and is displeased at the news of Skeeter's employment, fearing it would deter her chances of marriage. At a family dinner, Skeeter brings up Constantine again, only to discover from her father's evasion and subsequent admission that Constantine was let go after nearly 3 decades of service. An argument erupts, leading Skeeter to leave home, reminded of how Constantine consoled her during her adolescent years. This sparks an idea in Skeeter, a book that narrates the true lives of maids. The next day, Skeeter approaches Aibileen for help with her column as a construction worker scopes out the plans for an extra bathroom. Skeeter also proposes her book idea to Aibileen, who turns it down. Their conversation is disrupted by Elizabeth's heated exchange with her husband over the bathroom addition, ending with his abrupt departure. When Elizabeth prohibits Skeeter from discussing the letters with Aibileen, Skeeter leaves. That night, a tornado strikes the town. Minnie is fearful to use the outdoor bathroom, but Hilly forbids her from using the indoor facilities. However, Minnie discreetly uses Hilly's bathroom and gets caught, resulting in her dismissal. Later, when Aibileen's outdoor bathroom is ready, a touching moment occurs when May refers to her as her real mom. Skeeter, persistent, seeks Aibileen's help again, causing her to miss her bus. Aibileen denies her again, citing the racial violence she has witnessed. Despite the rejection, Skeeter leaves her phone number with Aibileen. After declining Skeeter's offer of a ride, Skeeter researches laws on racial conduct, unearthing disturbing regulations. In the evening, Aibileen receives a call from Minnie, who admits to taking revenge on Hilly with a special pie for labeling her as a thief. Minnie is distraught, fearing she may never find work again. This incident triggers Aibileen to consider Skeeter's book idea. Inspired by her pastor's sermon on courage, Aibileen contacts Skeeter and shares her stories. Skeeter reassures Aibileen that she's seeking the truth, irrespective of its portrayal of white people. Meanwhile, Hilly's new maid seeks a loan of $75 to send her children to college, even offering to work without pay to compensate. Hilly, however, rejects her request, claiming it as an act of benevolence. Days later, Minnie's husband forces their daughter to leave school and become a maid to help with their financial woes. Jobless for days, Minnie finds hope when Aibileen suggests Celia, who's probably unaware of Hilly's slander. Minnie approaches Celia, who, being an inept housewife and expecting a child, readily hires her. Minnie is given the job by Celia on the condition that her presence is kept secret from Johnny, a proposition Minnie accepts. During a subsequent Junior League meeting, Hilly declares her health initiative proposal has been forwarded to the governor, reminding Skeeter to include it in the newsletter. Skeeter, who had been delaying its publication, deceitfully assures her it'll be done. Interviews between Skeeter and Aibileen proceed, touching upon Elizabeth's subpar parenting. Minnie stumbles upon one of these sessions and initially reprimands them. However, she quickly reverses her stance, sharing her experiences and pledging to persuade other maids to do the same. On the following Saturday, Hilly introduces Skeeter to Stuart for a double date. Stuart's unpleasant demeanor upsets Skeeter, who leaves before they even order. Meanwhile, Minnie forges a friendship with Celia, who respects her and invites her to join for lunch. Later, Skeeter receives feedback from her editor. Her stories are compelling, but they need accounts from at least a dozen maids to consider publishing. Despite their efforts, Aibileen and Minnie are unable to convince their acquaintances to participate, prompting Minnie to suggest using her tales as stand-ins for other maids. Skeeter, though, is skeptical as it deviates from authenticity. To motivate Skeeter, Aibileen discloses the story of her son's death, which happened when he was just 24, giving her a personal reason to see the book through. Following day, Stuart apologizes to Skeeter for his poor behavior, blaming his recent breakup and Hilly's pressure for his intoxicated state. Skeeter's frankness surprises him, and earning her respect, he secures another date. Their relationship blossoms as he acknowledges her intelligence and confesses to reading her newspaper columns. When Skeeter starts working on the newsletter, she indulges in a bit of mischief, altering words in her article. As a result, Hilly's coat drive is misinterpreted as a toilet drive, leaving her front yard cluttered with discarded toilets. Medgar Wiley Evers, a prominent activist's crusade for equality, is a major television topic, but Charlotte forbids anyone in her household from watching his speech. Aibileen, along with other black individuals, is later evicted from a bus due to civil unrest following Evers' assassination. Aibileen takes shelter at Minnie's, where they resolve to proceed with their book cautiously. The following day, Minnie discovers Celia bleeding from a miscarriage in the bathroom. Minnie tends to her as Celia divulges her fears of losing Johnny, who only married her because she was pregnant. Minnie, however, reassures her that he will come to terms with it. Celia, following her miscarriage, buries the baby in the garden under a plant, just as she did with her previous lost pregnancies. Meanwhile, Hilly's maid gets arrested after attempting to sell a ring she found while cleaning, leading to suspicion and police involvement. This incident becomes the turning point for many other maids who decide to share their stories with Skeeter, fed up with their treatment. At a social gathering of the Bridge Club, Celia tries to integrate herself, even bringing a pie as a peace offering. However, the women snub her, causing Celia to leave in tears. Back home, Minnie reproaches Celia for trying to befriend those women, explaining their animosity stems from her marriage to Johnny. Misunderstanding the situation, Celia assumes the women think Johnny cheated on Hilly with her, and she decides to clear up the misunderstanding at the upcoming benefit event. Around this time, President Kennedy is assassinated, instilling further fear in Aibileen about their project. Minnie decides to share a secret about an act she committed against Hilly, making a pie with her own excrement which Hilly unknowingly consumed. Minnie believes that including this story will protect her as Hilly would never want anyone to know about this humiliating incident. At the charity event, Celia and Johnny's presence stirs discomfort among the attendees. Celia, inebriated, tries to explain to Hilly that Johnny didn't cheat on her, resulting in an embarrassing scene. After the event, Mrs. Walters confesses she was the one who bid on Minnie's pie in Hilly's name, just to spite her daughter for sending her to a nursing home. The day following the event, Celia contemplates leaving Johnny, feeling out of place in high society. But Minnie convinces her to stay, reminding her that leaving would mean letting Hilly win. Simultaneously, Skeeter is wrapping up her book, needing only one last story, that of Constantine. She presses her mother, Charlotte, to reveal the truth about her departure. Months prior, while hosting a Daughters of America luncheon, Constantine's daughter, Rachel, unexpectedly arrived. Despite her usual right to enter the house, on this occasion, Charlotte asked her to wait in the kitchen. Defiant, Rachel entered the house anyway, demanding to see her mother. Under the scrutinizing gaze of the other socialites, Charlotte was forced to dismiss both Constantine and Rachel. The following day, Charlotte tried to bring Constantine back, only to learn that she'd left with Rachel. Charlotte sent her son to Chicago to find them, but it was too late. Constantine had passed away. Attempting to apologize for her actions, Charlotte's words fall on deaf ears as Skeeter leaves in tears. After visiting Constantine's abandoned house to write her final story, Skeeter sends the manuscript to her editor. The book, published anonymously, turns out to be a success, even piquing Mrs. Walter's interest in the nursing home. However, Skeeter's joy is short-lived as Stuart, upon learning she's the author, breaks up with her, accusing her of being selfish. When Hilly reads the book and sees her embarrassing story, she desperately tries to quell rumors that the stories originated from their town. Hilly's anger peaks when she receives a charity check from Celia made out to Slice Hilly. Storming over to Skeeter, who's just received a job offer from a publishing company, Hilly threatens her with legal action. Skeeter counters by reminding her that she would have to publicly admit to eating the excrement pie. Charlotte, witnessing the confrontation, comes to her daughter's defense, kicking Hilly out. Charlotte then expresses her pride in Skeeter, congratulates her on her new job, and thanks her for bringing courage back to their family. Meanwhile, Minnie, who had been living in fear of Johnny, is relieved when he thanks her for being there for Celia. Johnny then offers Minnie a permanent position in his household, which she happily accepts, giving her the courage to leave her abusive husband. Upon their next visit to church, Aibileen and Minnie are given a standing ovation. The community members, acknowledging their bravery, have all signed the book as a gift, making up for Aibileen's missing name on the cover. They present this gift to Skeeter, who confesses her hesitation about accepting the job offer in New York because she doesn't want to abandon Aibileen and Minnie. However, the maids convince her to go and seek a better life. The following day, Aibileen returns home from grocery shopping to find Hilly falsely accusing her of stealing silver cutlery. Despite the accusation being false, Elizabeth fires Aibileen. When Hilly threatens her with jail, Aibileen rebukes her, leaving Hilly in tears. Despite May's pleas, Aibileen is forced to leave, but she is proud of what she has achieved for her community.